I play Thomas Marshall, and he is a Templar knight. He's been on crusade in the Middle East 3 times. He has arrived back in England having been involved in some kind of massacre, where he's now put onto a vow of silence for the first, I guess, 20 minutes of the movie. And he's a man who's deeply troubled about the Templar Knights and the amount of violence that he's had to commit in the name of God. And Templar Knights were kind of like a mixture, if you can imagine, between sort of special forces and Al-Qaeda. Brian Cox's character and I travel around southeast England looking for likely candidates who might be able to do that, and we have brief moments and brief scenes in the first, half an hour of the film, where we go and pick up each of the guys. One of them's a thug, one of them's a bowman, one of them's a brilliant swordsman, and we get this unlikely group of guys together and go and defend the castle. Violence in this film is something that we're not scared about showing. I would rather do a film personally where you see the consequences of violence rather than it being done in a kind of cartoony way, and to realise just how bloody and how awful it would be to be in a situation like the one that we're in the film, where you're under siege from a huge army and what it takes to try and survive that. I think one of the interesting things about doing this film is getting inside the head of people, of a man. We're coming out of the Dark Ages a little bit in this period of history, but people who, there were no books, there were no theatre, there's no TV, there's no movies, there's no iPhones, there's no nothing like that. I'm trying to get inside the head of people who have religion, belief in God, for him a conflicted belief in God, and very little else, but makes people very simple and rather kind of Stone Age. He meets a woman in the film who because he's slightly moving away from the church, because the Pope has backed King John in this conflict, and King John is not a very good man, and he's already seen at the beginning of the movie, he's already seen 3 of his compatriots, 2 Templar Knights and an abbot, who is a sort of father figure to him, be slaughtered in front of him by King John with the Pope's blessing. And so his vow of obedience to the church and to the Pope and Rome is very compromised by that. And because he's already feeling compromised when he meets the woman, Isabel, and falls in love with her, then he's incredibly conflicted about that as well. So, yes, he is a man in serious conflict throughout the whole film. This is going to be a rich action, lot of action, great characters, bunch of actors who incredible talent on this film. They're just really great talent. They pulled together a really rich bunch of people who have melded together incredibly well, most often in the bar late at night in the hotel. But that's where a lot of our work is done, and I think a lot of the kind of the way that we react with each other is probably down to 1 or 2 glasses of wine, or 3.